Hello everyone, this is RadTechShoe and I have another rad review for you, and in this video we are going to be looking at VIII Lacrimosa of Dana for the PlayStation 4. This game was released over a year ago in Japan, but now it has made its way stateside here, and I'm going to go over this game and show you everything that I can about it in terms of what I like, what I dislike, and I'll give you my overall opinion and score at the end. So let's get right into it. Now, first off, I'd like to mention that I have never played any of the Ys titles or knew anything about the Ys franchise before playing VIII. Before playing this game, I've heard of the franchise, but I never played it. I never really gave it a chance. This was literally my first shot in the dark, and I gotta say I was very pleased with it. But you start off as Adol Kristen, the main protagonist of the entire Ys franchise, and this is just another adventure, another chapter in his long history book of adventures. But basically, you're on this boat, and this boat is sailing around, and it's sort of like a Bermuda Triangle area that they're sailing through, and eventually the ship sinks, and Adol and the entire crew and cast of the ship, everyone from the ship, washes up on shore. They're stranded throughout all the island, and it's up to Adol to rescue people across various places across the island, get them all together, and they all need to escape the island. That's the overall focus of the story. But along that way, you eventually meet a bunch of new people, encounter interesting subplots, and there's some twists, and there's actually an important history with the island that you're on that is known as Siren. But anyway, this island is got a very deep and interesting history, and Adol explores more, finds out more and more as he explores that island. Now, as you are exploring the island, you notice two things quickly. One is that the island is covered with these things called ancient species. These essentially look like dinosaurs, and just like dinosaurs, if they were roaming around today, you would be very surprised to see them because you'd think, hey, they used to live long ago, but they were extinct. Why are they here? So their existence here on this island is a mystery, but also another thing that Adol personally experiences that no one else really understands is that he's able to have visions of the past. Whenever Adol goes to sleep, he wakes up after having a dream, but the dream is he's having a vision of the past seen through the eyes of one of the people who used to live on that island. There was an ancient civilization known as the Eternians who used to live on the island of Siren, and a great catastrophe befell them and wiped out the civilization. However, when Adol has those dreams and those visions, he's able to see through the eyes of one particular character named Dana. She is a maiden of the Great Tree, and she is considered one of the high-ranking authority figures of her civilization. She's looked up to and revered by many of the people, and she is also able to have visions of the future in which she knows Adol is coming. So she's unable to stop the catastrophe, she's unable to stop her civilization from being annihilated. So what she does is she seals herself away and waits for Adol to come find her, and eventually they all team up together with everyone else that's in your party, and you all try and stop this great tree from once again wiping out all civilization, this time across the planet. And that's the ultimate goal of the entire movie, is to escape the island and stop the great tree from wiping out all life as we know it. Now, when it comes to the cast of characters, you're playing as Adol, Kristen, and Dana. Those are the two main pivotal characters. The other four characters that make up the core of your party are Hummel, a transporter who wields a gun, who is very mysterious at first, but opens up to the group. Then there's Sahad, a fisherman who is very positive and open-minded, but easily startled. Then you have Laxia, a very strong-willed woman who is very reluctant to open up, but eventually she does as well. And then you have Ricota, which is a little girl who was actually on the island before anyone else was. She's been on the island for as long as she can remember, so she's kind of like, I guess you could say a local native, if you could call it that. And she eventually joins the party as well, and all six of you are running up across the island, and you can have an active party of 3 people at any given time. Now, when it comes to the combat system, the combat is pretty hack and slash. You have multiple abilities that allow you to deal out great damage to your opponents. You have your basic standard ability, you can jump and then do attacks in mid-air, followed by a descending attack to slam down on the ground. And then you have your skills. Your skills are going to be your greatest method of dealing damage. And your skills, as you use them more and more and more on enemies, you'll level them up and eventually you'll max them all out. And as you level up your character, you'll gain access to new skills and so on and so forth. And the more characters you use, the more skills you learn. But if you don't rotate characters in and out and swap them in and out, they're not going to be learning as many characters. They'll still level up, mind you, but they just won't be learning new skills. So it's important that you switch out the rotation between your characters as much as possible. Get a feel for them, and you might actually find a fighting style that suits you better. I was actually very surprised. I thought Hummel was going to be my least favorite, but he turned out to be one of my favorites, if not my #1 favorite. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on the combat mechanics. It's pretty simple. However, there are certain mechanics, and there's more intricacies into it, but I don't want to go too deep into it because we're already going to be taking a fair amount of time with this review, and I don't want to stretch things out further than necessary. So let's get right on to the audio and visual aspects. Okay, so this game, visual-wise, is okay. It's not the greatest, and there are definitely some aspects to the graphics and backgrounds that you'll look at and you'll just be like, dear sweet God, are we back in the PlayStation 2 era? They're okay. By no means would I consider this a top-tier PS4 quality next-gen title. It just feels like they went a little easy on the graphics in terms of some of the character animations and expressions, and then also on some of the environment details as well. Not the greatest in terms of visual aspects. Audio is not too bad. It's definitely better. The music that you experience while running around in certain environments, certain songs are reused for sections. But you know what? For the most part, the music is good. Music is good. It's pleasant. I definitely found myself tapping my feet or bobbing my head left and right as I was running around, going along the beaches and the forests and in the marshes, stuff like that. This place wasn't too bad. Whether it's spelunking through caves or running along the sandy coves, it was pretty fun. The music was good. The boss fights aren't too bad. Some of the areas towards the end of the game are kind of meh in terms of like the music, but for the most part, music was good. So audio and visual wise, this game is okay. Nothing fantastic, but it definitely could be better. Now, in terms of additional mechanics, like most RPGs I've looked at, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have noticed that RPGs tend to have a lot of extra stuff going on in them, a lot of extra things you can do, additional mechanics and so on and so forth, and there's quite a lot to do here in this game. There are extra quests that you can do, kind of like, there's a bulletin board inside the main camp where people put up their requests and you can fulfill those requests, give them what they need or do what they want you to do, and they will... and their favor and opinion of you will grow greatly. And if you want the true ending of the game, you got to get enough of a general favorable reputation amongst everyone collectively, and you'll get to see the true ending, as well as other requirement fulfillments and stuff like that. You can also go fishing. Hey, for those of you who want to catch all those gigantic fish in the ocean, go right ahead. Well, there's one, the Ancient Abyss. That guy was a son of a bitch. Some of these fish can put up a good fight. There are certain items that you can craft that make fishing easier, and item crafting is one of them. There are characters who let you craft armor, they upgrade your weapons, they let you craft additional materials. You can trade certain materials. You can trade 10 of one type of material to get one stronger version of that, or you can trade down and you can trade the one good piece for 10 of the smaller pieces of it. So there's quite a lot going on in terms of additional mechanics and what you can do in this game outside of just moving along, attacking, leveling up. There's quite a lot going on. There's a lot of things you can do, a lot of items you can do. You can mix potions and create stuff to help you fight alongside combat, increasing your ability to win and not get your ass handed to you. So this game has kind of a lot going on, as with most RPGs, like I said earlier. However, there was one aspect of this game that I was expecting more from, and that would be DLC. I looked at the PlayStation Store, I looked at everything that was available for Lacrimosa Adana in terms of add-ons. They have quite a few add-ons, but not any one of them is really good. There's not I didn't see any bonus story missions. I saw a few skins and then a bunch of small boxes. Some of the stuff is free already, so go knock yourself out for that, but not a whole lot, to be perfectly honest. I was not impressed by what I saw in the online store for DLC. So I wish there was a little bit more of that. And that's going to do it for my review of Lacrimosa, of VIII Lacrimosa Adana. My overall score for this game is going to be a 7 out of 10. for the lack of DLC content and the really subpar visual aspect of the game. Those, that experience just really hurt my review. I would love this game a lot more, and I would recommend it more passionately if it were for the lack of DLC and the poor visuals in the game. Other than that, though, the game is good. Good story, fluid combat, music is not too bad, but I can't give it any higher than a 7 out of 10. And that's going to do it for my video of my rad review of VIII Lacrimosa of Dana. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up down below, subscribe for more, stay tuned, and I will see you guys all later.